Hello everyone, Captain Troy Handsome of International Rescue. Please state the nature of your emergency. Here with, well, Video Game Patents 101 with Professor Troy. It is good to see you all. I will try my best to field any questions that the chat may have. But for now, let's start with one of the things in question people are talking about. This patent application publication. Now, you might be wondering, oh, yeah, that's a patent. That is not a patent. Don't you dare finish that sentence. This is not a patent. This is application number 17,949,666 or 17,949,666. This is a publication. So let me pull up this right over here. We're actually going to draw this out. We'll use a pencil. We'll make it like this much thickness, and we'll do a maroon for now. So what will happen is first you have like actually, this is not on the screen. How do I? Okay. You start with an inventor. You all can appreciate my scuff drawings. But more these days, you start with multiple inventors. So patents actually have been more likely to feature multiple inventors these days. The number of, like the ratio of multiple inventor patents to single inventor patents has gone up recently. So what they'll do is they'll get together and they'll coordinate with someone that I'll put in dark blue. We'll call them a patent attorney. So this attorney does cost a lot of money, as many attorneys do. They might also work with a patent agent, who I'm going to do in a slightly different blue color. Love the drawing, thank you. So they work with patent agents here. Now you might be wondering, what's the difference here? Well, there are a few differences here. First of all, the attorney makes more money. Second of all, the attorney has a Juris Doctor. The agent does not need to have a Juris Doctor and typically works under the attorney. And they have what is known as a registration number. It's a number that could be something like 36,526, right? And with this registration number, this is in the United States. It indicates that they have been allowed to work and present in front of the United States Patent and Trademark Office, which I'm going to put here over the side in orange. So here you'll have what is known as a patent examiner. What is that? A Juris Doctor. Let me type this in chat, even though those of you watching in the future cannot have it. It's basically a law degree. So these people could be considered esquires, but this is specifically for patent law. You got to get your degree and pass the patent bar. And then you'll be able to work here in front of the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Fun fact, there are actually 5 major offices in the world. I wanted green. I'm going to do it as a circle this time. So there's 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These refer to countries like the United States, Europe, China, Japan, and Korea. These are the big 5 IP offices, and they all have an agreement with each other to kind of like share stuff around, which we'll get to in a bit. So ignore the 5 circles for now, which are not interlocking, which is a story for another time. So basically, inventors over here, what they'll do is they have an idea, and they have to go talk to the attorney and or the agents involved. And they'll say, hey, we've got this idea. So I need the pencil back for this. So they'll take this idea and bring it specifically to a firm, an attorney, or sometimes they might just try to go straight to the patent office themselves. We'll get to that in a minute. So typically they'll go through the attorney, who will then translate the stuff they're saying. So what the stuff they're saying kind of like looks like this, and then they translate it into a way like legalese, basically. So the attorneys typically have to have knowledge of the industry, the art that is happening here. And for those of you who I might be losing, let me just move this out of the way real quick. Remember this person over here that's orange? Well, this is going to come into play in just a bit, because once it gets over here, then here, let me take this away real quick. That's when you get stuff like this. You'll see this number right here, the application number, and it's going to go into these classes over here. You'll see the classes over here. It says like A63F. It could say like G15 or G06, right? Or something like that. But typically this is the international classification, how it will be classified. Remember the circle I had over here with all these groups? A lot of them, especially Europe, share this international classification system. But some people, like the United States, have their own, which is similar but different. And that's what you can see here. You see the 13577, you see the 1352, you see the 1356. So here, yeah, they have to translate it to lawyer language. So it goes to them. And then from this point, they then send it to the Patent and Trademark Office in the United States. And this is where things get a little bit more relevant to what we're talking about today. We'll ignore this bottom arrow for now, but if you all remember over here, I said this was a patent application publication. So what typically happens is, after it's submitted, after 18 months, That is when their application gets published. This is actually where I'm at right here is just Google Patents, okay? There's this site over here. This is just Google Patents. You can look up anything. So I'm specifically looking up this application. Remember this number here or this number up here. You can search up either on this page right over here. So you'll punch this in, you can see this. And this is one of the things people are talking about for Pokemon versus Pal World, because let me show you some of the pictures here real quick that might be relevant to what you all are imagining because of the discourse that's occurring right over here. You'll see this right here. There is a creature at play. Hey, Shvampka, welcome into you and Solus. Good to see you all. So let me catch up and make sure I had no other questions here. So basically, you can see here we're catching this individual in this ball right over here. And if you remember seeing here on the page up top, this is by Nintendo Company and Pokemon Company. So there's two people here at play. Well, it's three. So this inventor right here, Kazumasa Iwao, is, if you look back at this picture right over here, is one of these people on the left. So basically, they, through like Nintendo Company or some other, like they could have like in-house counsel, or they could outsource it to a different patent firm. And that's these people right here. So these people then send it to the office. I will get back to this part. You see here what says foreign application priority data? That's because, remember these 5 circles here? Remember the countries that I mentioned, which I should write down over here? So we have the US. This is really scuffed. We have Europe, which is the EP. We have Japan, which is JP. We have China, which is CN. And we have Korea, which is KR. So what happened here was they went to Japan first and filed it there. Then within a year later, you see here it says December 22, 2021. So within the year, the September 21, they actually filed it in the United States as well. And after filing in the United States, after the 18 months that I mentioned here, that is when it becomes published. Let's see if it lines up. It might be a little off for reasons we're not going to get into above my pay grade. So you'll look here, September 21, 2022. So about, it's less than a year later, it was actually published. It could be, if you look at the December, right, 2021. If you go a year, it's December 2022, then January, February, March, April, May, June. So that's 18 months later is June 22. Do they have to file in every office? Excellent question from Stuckham. They don't have to, but a lot of them do. And fun fact. So a lot of companies do file in every office. But if you promise the US, like, oh, can we promise to only file in the United States? Then they don't have to publish it after 18 months, which is actually what Google does a lot. If you all saw my Go Live tweet or my Go Live Blue Sky, let me see if I can pull up one with Google as the assignee. We'll do serving advertisements based on content. We know this is an actual published patent because of the numbers right here. It's only like 10 numbers. Whereas if you look at this original case, it's a publication, remember? It starts with a year and then 7 more numbers. This has not been granted yet. This is just like a draft of what the final patent could look like. Exclusive rights, basically, kind of. Like you promise the United States that you won't file anywhere else. And then if you're Google, for example, then they... this was a bad example because I actually did publish this. Let's see if I can find another one that was not published. We'll try... generating a media content availability notification. Okay, so I'll have to bring up another example sometime, but this is like a Google patent, for example, right? You can see some pictures here. This is the kind of thing that, so if you're searching, you might have this pop up, right? This is a granted patent. It was published in November 12, 2013. So it's a bit on the older side, especially given how fast tech moves these days. Hi, you got me with optimal methods of birthing babies in your promo message. Well, welcome in, Jen. Same to you, Pumpkin. Let me skip ahead then for you. You want optimal methods of birthing babies? Well, have I got the thing for you. What you want to do is you want to go here to patent 3,264,023. Let me download this PDF right over here. So if you look here, it's an apparatus for facilitating the birth of a child by centrifugal force. This was granted back in 1965, filed in January 1963. So what you want to... No. Sorry, you all did not see that. Whoopsie. So based on this diagram, you want to... Let me see if I can hide this real quick. Give me just a sec. You all saw nothing. Bloop. Oh, I feel like I can show this picture as cursed as this is. So what you want to do is you want to strap the lady into this device and spin them around. Let me scroll again. Okay, I cannot show you all this next picture. That is for sure. Here, let me read off the first part of the written description. Relates to an apparatus which utilizes centrifugal force to facilitate the birth of a child at less stress to the mother. It is known that due to natural and anatomical conditions, the fetus needs the application of considerable propelling force to enable it to push aside the constricting walls, to overcome the friction of the uteral and vaginal surfaces, and to counteract the atmospheric pressure opposing the emergence of the child. Let me answer this question in chat here real quick. Congratulations again to these chatters for redeeming these particular redeems. Let me get this pin for you all. Why do I see the word bayonet? Where is the word bayonet? Let me look at the thing over here. Bayonets. At its other end, the base plate 29 of the stretcher frame is provided with a pair of spaced bayonet extensions, adapted to be passed through openings 36 in deck 28. Okay. I cannot show you more of this picture up here, but you can just imagine. Here, let me make this go away again. Why do I see patents all over my screen? Well, Pumpkin, you are right on time for a little patents 101. So let me go and reveal this right here. So once again, you don't understand what's going on here. There are some ancient hieroglyphs. Yeah, so basically what you do is you put the person in here, and there's a net here to catch the baby after you spin the woman enough. But yes, this is one of the examples of the many things we'll be discussing today. So thank you for coming in, Jen. Let me go and go ahead and get back to pay no attention to what I'm skipping through. That's for later. So we're here because of this right here. You all might recognize this as a Nintendo Switch system. This is the perfect time for me to explain to you all, well, I want to go over the logistics of a patent, but let me explain something real quick. So basically, if you go back to this picture, again, the inventors go through a patent attorney, sometimes also an agent, and then they send it in to the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Similar things exist in the other countries. They all are in constant communication. You understand how that contraption works? Excellent. If you understand how that contraption works, you too could find your way in this job. So remember how I mentioned the pay scale? This person over here, the attorney, has the degree, the law degree, and has passed the specific bar exam you need, and so makes the most money out of anyone here on this page. What an interesting way to give birth, right? The agent makes the second most money. They also put in a lot of hard work and hours. They're basically like an attorney light. They put in a lot of extra hours and they make money, not as much as the attorney. Law degree. Well, if you don't want the law degree, then you don't want this dark blue person, but you can be any of these other people here. You can be an inventor in the maroon, you can be a patent agent in the light blue, or you can be a patent examiner in the orange. And fun fact, there's actually a smaller, just like they have the patent agents, you have a junior patent examiner here in the light orange. And so after the agent, for money, next comes the patent examiner. They make the next most amount of money. They work less hours, less money. And then the junior patent examiner works same hours, but also makes less money. Law degree sounds like not doctorate in physics. Yes, it's a doctorate, but a Juris Doctor. So now that we have this out of the way, again, it gets published after 18 months, and that's what this is. The most important thing I want you all to take away from this right now, this that people are talking about because Pokemon Company, this is not a patent, okay? Say it with me. This is not a patent. This is the number one thing people get wrong. You know, people who are uneducated will say things like, oh, they're patenting the process of catching this Tyrannosaurus Rex right over here. Is that what they're doing? This is not what they're doing. So do not be misinformed. I'm going to go ahead and explain the different parts of this because this looks very similar to the final results. So this, again, is a patent application publication. The inventor is Kazumasa Iwao right here. It was filed by Nintendo Company and the Pokemon Company with the help of basically patent attorneys and / or an agent, sometimes in-house, sometimes not. This is not a patent. Thank you, Stuckham. And so it was filed in Japan first, then they filed it in September 2022 in the United States. And once again, there are 5 major patent offices: United States, Europe, Japan, China, and Korea. And there are some smaller people, like other countries, you can get that going. But for now, that's what's most important. So you might be thinking these drawings, oh wow, these must be the most important part of the patent. That is actually incorrect. These are not important. You see all these lovely pictures of the Nintendo Switch? Thank you, Pumpkin. Yes, repeat after me. These are not important. You see these Joy-Cons here that drift? Not important. You see this picture? Not important. All this stuff? Not important. We're gonna skip through this. All that is not important. Trying to catch some flying object. A field character A, not important. You know, we'll just admire these pictures, not important. You can kind of see this. Does this look familiar to all? Anyone here played Pokemon Legends Arceus? Doesn't this look like your Pokedex, right? That is not a patent. Thank you, Shvamka. I understand the drawings. All right, Stuckum, you too could get a job at that individual place. The least important part, yes. Oh, look, there's even a dragon here, a boss fight. I've only done one boss fight in this game. Actually, if you all want to see a particular shot of me playing Pokemon Legends, let me pull that for you up right here. There's a particular clip that I like to place. And I'll probably link it in the description for this VOD when it goes up for the people watching in the future. But yeah, let me just pull this up right over here. And I hope you all can appreciate this. I came for the spinning birthing method, but staying for this. Yeah, I have a whole slew of fun stuff lined up. But you know what? Let's do the fun stuff first. So first, let me go back all the way over here. So first of all, we have here this one called, this is an application publication. This is not a patent. It was not necessarily approved or not. Let's take a look, actually. It says here, abandoned. This was not approved. It failed, okay? Repeat after me. This one failed. Dr. Courtney Henderson's cure for HIV of the soul. So, has anyone else been worried about having this particular disease of the soul? Well, if you have, then you have come to the right place. You'll want Dr. Courtney Henderson's thing right here. If you might be wondering, that sounds like a lot of bullshit. Well, it is, dear viewer. This one failed. I appreciate you all. Oh my gosh. You know what? Yes, I will have chat going for this. I feel like you all have earned this. So let me go ahead and re-reveal chat if I can find it. Haha. So, this one did fail. What's the next one over here? Focus enhancing blinders. Do you see this picture over here? Let me actually open this right over here. So, if you needed support when playing your sports, you're back missing this whole thing. Oh, welcome back. We're just looking at the fun stuff for now. We'll get back to the nitty gritty in just a bit. So, if you ever wants to focus better on sports, all you have to do is look over here at this application publication, which was granted back in 2008, and it expired because of the fact that they stopped paying money. Fun fact, you remember this diagram over here? You're good, children. You are, Pumpkin. So remember this diagram over here? Basically, inventors send it to the patent attorneys, who send it to the patent office, and then they examine it. And then if they grant it, you know, here's the thing. There's actually three, what I missed, we're putting blinders on children. Oh, it's blinders on like sports people, like right over here. So what you want to do is, there's a few different tiers of money you have to cough up, okay? So I'm going to do this right over here. There's 3 tiers. Yes, you all are the best. So, you know, this might differ by country. This might differ by year. So if you are a large company, let's say Nintendo. I'm not sure if they fall into category 1 or category 2. Nintendo makes a lot of money, and so they have to pay the most money. But if you're a new person just starting out, let's do this one right over here. Say you're a solo inventor, you're not really affiliated with a particular company, and you just want to throw your money away. I mean, you just want to invest in your patents. Well, you would be considered a small entity, and you would not have to pay as much as the big folks. Categories like hurricanes, yeah, but I guess the category distinction was me. 3 tiers sounds like a Twitch sub. That's right. If you're Nintendo, you have to tier 3 Twitch sub if you want a patent. If you're just a single person, you only have to tier 1 Twitch sub if you want a patent. So what will happen is you have to pay the money, but the real money is made elsewhere. And let me paste this over here for the purposes of the diagram. So the real money is after you get your patent. You have to pay the upkeep fees. And just like in Magic the Gathering, the upkeep phase is where a lot of fun stuff can happen. And this is where, at least in the United States, that particular patent office, those people make most of their money. So anyway, this one, you can see over here, it was granted. They're like, all right, you all can have this. Upkeep, Lord, yeah. But then they didn't, I don't know, maybe the person died or they just didn't pay anymore. And so it expired. Even though it was only supposed to expire in November 2025, this thing could have been valid. And sometimes it's not worth the money. Nintendo Tier 3 sub to Pokemon, yeah. So that's the focus enhancing blinders. Here we have a glow in the dark lighter that I can't show you all. Oh, no. There aren't things being shown. So, it's kind of sussy. So this here is a night light. Glow in the dark. No, it's a lighter. I think it's like there's an ignition button, a gas storage. So y'all ever heard of Zippo? Well, what if you had this instead? We should bring back the graham cracker blinders. Oh, true. Yeah, look, don't you want to eat these? Also, welcome in, Fiend. Good to see you. So yeah, we've got the first things we're looking at, it was the baby chucker, which is what Jen was asking about. And so we've got the graham cracker blinders, as Fiend is saying. Then we have here this glow in the dark lighter. It's not necessarily by Zippo. It says Peter Chen. It doesn't say he gave the rights to it to anyone in particular. Yeah, the baby chucker. Here, let's skip back to the baby chucker. Let me find the baby chucker. All right, where are you, baby chucker? Oh, here it is. So this is an apparatus for facilitating the birth of a child by centrifugal force. What you do is you strap in the poor individual in here and you spin this thing around really, 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 really fast. Let me put this away real quick because I have to show you the thing that I cannot show you. Let me censor this right over here real quick. Okay. So yeah, you strap them into this. Baby chucking is the most optimal way of giving birth. That's right. According to this, by inventors George Blonsky and Charlotte Blonsky, as well as these attorneys. This is probably the firm. They probably didn't work with all three of these. Maybe they worked with one of these attorneys or someone else. Farthest baby chuck, it should be in the Olympics. So yeah, you strap them up here, then you spin them on this thing. I can't show you all this picture down here because I don't want to get bonked. So yes, baby chucking, Olympic sport indeed. All right, let's get back to the list that I had going on right over here. So we got the blinders. Oh, we also had, again, the cure for this disease of the soul. If you have this disease in your soul, please show this to Cindy for me. My God, it will freak her out. Oh yeah, let me link this to you actually. So if you want the baby chucker, all you have to do, where is it? It's right here. Let me get you all the link. Once again, this is available on Google Patents. All you got to do is Google Patents. You can search up something. You could do like, what is it, like cotton candy? She expects weird things from me. Don't worry, there's more to come. You search cotton candy, you'll get like this one here, sugar reduction in food products by a company called Incredo. What else have we got? We got glutinous rice cake, which is a Chinese patent that was granted but expired because they stopped paying for it, despite the fact it was going to it was going to expire, lose validity in 2026. So this is stuff you could look up on your own time. So baby chucking complete, Zippo lighter complete. Let's move on to the next one over here real quick, actually. So no. Let's get back to the real reason why we're all here, the Nintendo stuff. Welcome in, Ida. Okay, so once again, this is the stage, okay? The inventors, they talk to the patent attorneys, who then send in the application to the patent examiners, and that's where we get to this part. The patent application publication. And so you might be wondering, so what happens next? Well, fun fact, if you look at the Google result for this, which is right over here, there's a few different links that you could click on that would be relevant. Actually, hold on, I lost it. Where are you? Let me link this again in here. It's 17949666. So once again, we've got this one here by Nintendo and Pokemon Company. So you'll want to click here to these external links. How evil is Nintendo out of 10? What are the odds they win? Well, it depends. Apparently, people are going off of speculation, and I don't want to spread a false narrative or misinformation until people know what actual patents are in play. And once again, as everyone said earlier, this is not a patent. This is just the 18th month later publication of their application. So what you want to do is you want to click on these external links right over here. You get a few different links. So this one here is a different website. This is the one that the Europeans usually use. This is by the European Patent Office themselves. But if you jump to United States Patent Office, right over here, you can get a few extra information. So if you put in this application from before, you all can't see over here. Actually, I can unhook this real quick. So if you see over here, it says 1794966 in the corner, right? Right over there in the corner. And so you can see that there's this letter here that says CTNF, and that means that they've said, hey, we know you want this. We found these other things, these other documents in 892. If you click on the 892 list, you can see all the documents that, if you remember from this picture, that this person sometimes this person has said, hey, this is basically, these are other people. Most of the time, sometimes it's themselves. These are other people or yourself who have done this already, either before You sent yours in, which if you all remember right over here, before like this state or this state. And we're like, well, you know, this is pretty similar. And so this is nothing to do with the Power World stuff, by the way. This is more setting the stage, okay? This is like this because it hasn't been granted yet. It hasn't been approved yet. And we can tell based on this website that September 13, 2024, 11 days ago was when this rejection, this like disapproved, this not like denial was sent out. And so if you remember this picture, these people have 3 months, but if they pay extra money, they can have up to 6 months to say, wait, what if we add a few more things? And that's where I have to tell you, again, this stuff right here, these drawings are not important. Let me tell you what's really important. It's these right here. This is what people sometimes won't really know or tell you about. I did see a few articles researching for today that were correct and said, they pointed out this is the important stuff. So this might look like a lot of stuff for you. You can ignore a lot of it. So because this is involving video games, this is involving software, let's ignore a few things. Let's ignore this stuff here, this entire page. Let's go down here to, well, 16. Let's ignore that too. Where can we go? We are going to go ahead and jump over to 35. This is what is important. The method, what we're actually doing. This other stuff, ignore it. Game processing, ignore that. Processor, ignore that. This is just legalese. This is just language that, oh, you know, all this is saying is the Nintendo Switch, like its CPU, will do this. Although this is a small caveat that only people in the know will know. Sometimes processor means something different, but for this case, we're going to give them benefit of the doubt and say, oh, it's probably not something weird. Because they could say the processor's actually like a worm in a box. So when the worm in a box does it, okay, we're not going to imagine they're doing that. So it determines the direction they're aiming. It lets the player launch this. It doesn't necessarily say the Pokeball. If you look at this part, this is the most important part. You'll mention that right now so far, it says launch an item that affects a field character. Item is the Pokeball in theory, but it says item. So it could be anything because these claims are somewhat broad. This item could be a lunchbox. It could be a water bottle. It could be a canteen. It could be a sack of cookies. It's just item that affects a field character, and a field character is someone. So if you have like a dodgeball, like the dodgeball movie, technically the person in charge of checking this out, which is, again, if you look at this drawing, one of these people, they could say, oh, the dodgeball movie. This is a little faithless, but they could say, well, the dodgeball movie has some, if they had a game, like a dodgeball movie translated into a video game, you know those like movies, they don't have to be specific. They don't, because if they're too specific, then their patent becomes weak. The less words, the broader their patent is. But it means the more powerful it can be, but it means the more vulnerable it is to someone else saying something. I could say, hey, this video game tie-in to the dodgeball movie where you control a character, or Monsters Incorporated Scream Arena. Let me pull this up. That is a video game right over here. Let me open this up in one of these tabs right over here. So there's this video game here called Monsters Incorporated Scream Arena. And let me see if I can pull up particular pictures here for you all as I hit Bing search. So in this game, you also control a player character and you throw dodgeballs at other characters. So if we go back to what we were looking at here, right over here, determining an aiming direction in a virtual space based on, so this one aims first, which is important. If you all have played Pokemon Legends Arceus Memories, this game is fire. Yes, Solace Flare, my actual sister here, and I have played this game a lot. So then you launch, say, the dodgeball that affects a field character based on a third operation input, like when you actually launch the ball. Then it gives an effect associated with the item to the field character. Like it might knock them out. What they're trying to say is it like captures them in the second mode. And then this one was, remember in Pokemon Legends Arceus when you throw, let me see if I can pull up a picture for that. So the first one is if you're trying to catch a Pokemon. Like here, you've got the ball. This is what that was referring to. And you might be like, wait, Troy, I thought you said this wasn't important. Well, it's important as in support. Like it's proof that this is what, if there's a patent infringement lawsuit, what the judges are going to be looking at, what the attorneys are going to be arguing over. This stuff specifically, these words. The drawings are like context, right? Drawings are context, but what will make or break either party, either company in this case, are here. The claims. And I know you're like thinking, well, 35? Well, that's because one is usually a copy of 35. Remember here, switching between a first and second mode, determining an aim. This language is pretty much the same, but it's a little different. And it's kind of like, it's technically a 202 lesson. I might bring that up if it comes up, but for now, this is all we're looking at. You're throwing a Pokeball to catch a Pokemon, or you're throwing a Pokemon to fight another Pokemon. Let me see if I can pull up the drawings for that. Is what I asked about before true about them trying to sue with patents that were approved after Pal World was released? Well, the thing is, I actually don't know what's at play here. I'm just trying to lay down the framework, the mechanics, so y'all can understand when people provide the additional information to know. Because the thing is, if people actually know what is involved, then I could give you a stronger answer. Get me in there, I'll grammatically analyze their asset. So to recap, what we're looking at in this, and the thing is, this is not even a patent. It's not granted. So as much as people are pointing to this one hasn't been approved. And so there's a lot of like, there's more merit in something potentially that has actually been granted, but then that all goes down to these people. Hey, Magic School Bus, welcome back. Sorry about the future just moving into your life. Very nice. Okay, so again, it depends on these people who haven't gotten it to yet, or in this case, according to this page right here, they have gotten to it yet, but they've got a chance. And that leads us into the segue where you all might have heard about this. You all may have heard about the Nemesis system in Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. This article in September 2023, so it's about a year old, is actually good. Because first of all, they correctly refer to a patent that has been granted, patent 10,926,179. And what they do is they refer to the claims here. Remember, a method comprised. Remember these words that I was talking about in this other one right over here? Remember how I said, where is the thing that I was looking at? Right over here. Remember I said the words are important? And here it's 35. It's because it says method. A method for. And if you go back and look at this one here, it says a method. So even though this is number one, this is what's most important, and this is what they're going to look at. And again, some of this stuff doesn't matter. Processor, computer implemented game, that's not the big stuff. The big stuff is here, operating the avatar, non-player character. You can kind of ignore control by the processor, but here you know that it's not operated by the player. So this is the player character. This is the NPC, the CPU, right? And so this article is pretty good. And this one I did pull up right over here. Let's see, over here. It is called Nemesis Characters, Nemesis Force, Social Vendettas, and Followers in Computer Games. So as a reminder, you've got your inventors here. There's a lot. Those people are the dark brown right over here. They work for Warner Brothers, or they assigned the rights to Warner Brothers specifically. It was published 18 months later, September 29, 2016. If you do the math, April, May, June, July, August, September. So 18 months later, it was published. And that's what, again, this stuff looks like. Remember the stuff that isn't a patent yet? That's what happened here. But then this person right here, the primary examiner, who is this dark orange person right here, said, yeah, it's good enough. And you see here it says 1LLP Jonathan Jake. That is this person right here in the dark blue. So now that that's done, it was granted on February 2021. The infamous Nemesis system that people talk about from Middle-earth. Now you might be wondering, what's this stuff right over here? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you a secret. So there's one person here, and they only cited 3 things that they felt like were relevant. They're like, oh, it's similar to this. And so I have a sneaking suspicion that they might not have thoroughly looked at this one too much. And let's see if we can find out. So remember those websites I mentioned? Let's see if we can go to one of these websites right over here. Okay. Let me see. Basically, what you'll do is you'll go to one of these websites. Let me try this one right over here. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to throw them my way. Of course, they're having problems. Let me see if I can show you some of the pictures of this, actually. So here we have some stuff. This is like boilerplate. This is stuff like all of their stuff's going to have. And then here you've got the overload. This is the stuff that's mentioned in the article, right? If you look over here, again, the people who wrote this article were good. They pulled up the appropriate diagrams, the drawings, the pictures that this was about. And they also point out that it was rejected. It was denied 6 times. Let me show you something over here. So what will happen, it will go to them. And let me get this part right over here. So you might be wondering, Troy, what's this bottom part right over here? Well, that's if they choose not to go for an attorney. And that is, personally, that is a big mistake, because if they don't go to an attorney, they won't know how to write it in the correct language. Like, remember like this stuff over here where it says controlling by a processor, changing by a processor? They're not going to know that stuff. They might if they've written their own, right? Or if they're particularly savvy. But what will likely happen is if they write it themselves, they're not going to know how to do it, and that will slow down the process. And it's not very likely, it's not as likely for them to get granted as they would if they actually paid the money and went with a patent firm, an attorney, an agent. So what will happen, they'll send it in. And depending on what it is, they'll send it back and say, sorry, it's not good enough. Hold on, let's do a different color for this. Oh, we'll do purple. They're like, it's not good enough for these reasons, right? Remember this here when I pointed out these stuff here? They said because of these, it might not be good enough. And so that's one denial, one rejection. They get one more chance to send it in. So then after that, they make some changes, they send it in. Or if they're kind of grumpy, they won't make changes. Or if they think the person was incorrect, which sometimes they could be, they won't make changes. And they'll say, no, you're actually incorrect because here. It goes back one more time. And then from there, it either gets approved and then they get to pay money. And then you have this right over here, which is likely, given how few pieces of evidence there are, it's very likely that there's either one of these, or they don't even need the purple. They just go straight with the black. And they successfully get it, right? That can happen a lot, especially if the person looking at it is strapped for time. For those of you who work for, say, like Amazon or other companies where numbers are important, that's basically the situation there. Thank you for the hydrate. Let me work on that right now. Let me take a quick hydrate break. If anyone has any questions, let me know. All right, so they've sent it in and they've gotten approved, or heavens forbid, they reject it a second time. So there's a few more things that in the United States you can do from here. If it's rejected a second time, you can do one of two things. You can, let's do green for this one. You can give up. You can pay more money to try again, a new fresh round, and you can try again. So if you look here at this article, they say down here, again, the article writers are really good, that it was rejected and amended 6 times. So that means it got sent back once, they changed it. They got sent back again, then they paid the money and changed it. So they paid money one time. They sent it in, it got rejected. They sent it in second time or fourth time if you're counting, and then they sent it back again. Then you pay even more money to try again. So the thing is, it all is dependent on this person. Like if this person here is either grumpy or really doesn't feel like you have a shot, then you might be stuck. You might have to pay money a third time. But let's go back to what we were looking at before. They paid money a first time and a second time. So the first time they sent it in 3 and then try 4. They paid money a second time, sent it in 5, and then they sent it in a 6th time. And from this point, they probably then eventually got it right. So the fact that they got it actually this many times means, despite the fact they have this evidence here at the very top of there not be, oh, I'm sorry, I take it back. They have more references right here. There was a continuation. It says continue. This person worked hard. There's a number of relevant documents that they say it says cited by examiner, the asterisk, because as one of these people, an inventor, you have a duty to disclose what you know might be doing the same thing you're doing. So if, say, this is interesting because if theoretically someone from Pokemon knew, hey, yeah, I think people at this company, unlikely, but possibly likely that they knew another company was doing something, they have to submit that as evidence to this person right over here. Well, they send it to this person who sends it into this person here. So they keep track of the number of revisions that it has gone through. Is it a negative thing if they have so many revisions? Not necessarily. It just means they've had more time and money. Perhaps their attorneys are really good. Perhaps they're really bad and they make incremental changes. It all depends. It's all a case by case basis. These people might be doing it a little like sneakily, like making only small incremental changes at a time, which for some people is sneaky because you're squeezing money out of someone. For some people, it's like, hey, they don't have a lot of time. They spend a lot of long hours. They're like any other lawyer, any other attorney. They spend a lot of hours, so they're like, no, this is legitimately a lot of work translating this into this language so that we can send it in and they can understand it and not instantly reject us. So the revisions might be them doing their due diligence. It might be them being a little scummy, or it might be because this person's a bit of a hard ass. You know what I mean? There's actually a few websites that these people use to see the ratings for these people. Think of it like, Rate My Professor? There's a Rate My Professor for these people. So you can like look up the person who is looking at your thing, which if you look here would be this person. They could look up this person right here, if he's even still there, and say, oh, he's really like fair, or he's kind of loose, or he's too strict. So, with the 6 rounds, it's hard to say unless I put this particular set of numbers in over here. And let's see if we can make that happen. So I've had this over here. Let me go back a page. If I can do 15081 732. All right, so we can view 781. Hold on. Give me just a moment. 15081. It's this one right over here. So we can see a few things. So they first submitted it back in 2016, March. It got rejected once in September 2017. It got rejected a second time in April 2018, but it looks like the person didn't do a good job because they got it for free. Remember this diagram right here? If this person doesn't do a good job, or if this person points out a mistake they made, let's do this with, we'll do it a light green. They get to give them a free rejection, a free denial that doesn't count against them, because they messed up or they were spot on about something. So that actually happened here because we had a CTNF, but we had another CTNF right here. After that, they came back. So remember this purple line right here? So black, dark purple, dark purple. They came back again in 2018. And then the person sent it back one last time in September 2018. They paid money. Remember how I said here on this diagram, they can pay money to try again twice? That's right here. You see this RCEX in January 2019. And then for those of you coming in, this again is the Middle Earth patent, a preliminary round, right? They get a first round, they get a second round, they got a third round for free. This is the first round of what we call prosecution. And then they paid money to try it again. So they tried it again. They got a rejection. This is the dark purple after they tried it again black after paying the money green. They made some changes. That's this. They argued. They said, hey, you're wrong because of these reasons. And then they rejected it another time. That's this light purple here. So remember how I said they can either give up or pay money? There's one last thing they can do. Think of it as an experimental feature, a beta. There is this beta program, and not that kind of beta. This beta program where they can say, can you look at this real quick? Pretty please, Promi only spends X number of hours on this. See if you find anything real quicksies. Just look at it real quick, then get back to me. So that right here is this right here. They sent that in February 2020. And looks like in response, they decided something that wasn't in favor of them getting it. So basically, they paid money another time, a second time, to try one last time. They got another. See, this one is thorough. They rejected it one last time. I'm sorry. We'll switch subjects soon. And then finally, last set of changes in August 2020. Once they did this, they got this. And what this is, this code tells you that they got it. That they're good, they're in, and that's how we got this final result over here. The Nemesis system in Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, patent number 10,926,179. So after all that hard work, these inventors right here, they finally got it. I did not understand a word, nor I do know what that is, but I'm so invested. Oh, hi, Putty. You know what? Let's jump back to the fast stuff. So again, we are here because people are looking at this right here. This patent application publication, which is this is just a draft. Think of it like a rough draft, a first draft. The hours you spend looking at something, does that affect how much you get at the end? If you mean, depending on which side you're talking about, for these people, yes, they are paid as any lawyer is via money or like hours, basically. So the more hours they spend, the more billing hours they have for the inventor. If you're on this side, you don't get paid more. In fact, you are incentivized to spend less time because you have a limited number of hours available. Oh, for a new Switch? It's not a new Switch, but if you look at the stuff, Putty, I don't know if you play Pokemon Legends Arceus, but while these drawings are not important, here they show catching a Pokemon. I love the glasses, so smart. Thank you. So it's thanks to Medu, actually, that I'll shout out right here, that I have these. And thank you to Reese to helping me make sure that I had them working for the session today. So if those of you who have played Pokemon Legends Arceus, you can see here, this is catching a Pokemon. And then you can also throw out a Pokemon to try to catch a different Pokemon. That's right here. See these drawings here, the T-Rex that you threw out? So actually, that's right here. This paragraph right here is basically catching a Pokemon. And this paragraph right here is basically throwing a Pokemon to battle other ones. So those of you might be thinking, oh, is this going to be important? The problem is, once again, like I said about an hour ago, this is not a patent. This is an application publication. They filed in December, and always 18 months later, it gets published unless, like I mentioned about 45 minutes ago, you promise to only file in the United States. Once again, to recap for those of you coming in, there are 5 major patent offices: United States, Europe, Japan. Europe was at The Hague or something. Japan, China, and Korea. So if you file it in the US, after 18 months, they'll release it for anyone to see. If you promise to only file in the US, let me go ahead and put another circle right over here. If you only file it in the US, then they won't release it and it stays secret. For those of you who saw my Go Live tweet, that's what I mean when I say there's stuff Google's doing that Nintendo isn't doing, but that's because Nintendo has to file it in Japan also. Wanted to drop by before I go sleep. You're crazy for this. Well, Putty, thank you for hanging by. Wait, Putty, I have one more thing to go before you go. I have to show you the machine. So what they do is they strap someone in here to help birth a baby. So this thing is called apparatus for facilitating the birth of a child by centrifugal force. If you see my tweet, if you see my Blue Sky, this is what I'm talking about. These people, these inventors down here, George Blonsky and Charlotte Blonsky, they think this is the optimal way to birth a child. You strap them in right here. Let me scroll real quick. And they say, it's a gentle, evenly distributed, properly directed, precision-controlled force that acts in unison with and supplements her own efforts. They say this helps her out. So whether or not this is correct, it leaves a lot to be desired, but that is that. Let me see if it's over here. It was granted in 1965 and it expired in 1982. So you can copy this machine all you want if you're interested in also using such a device. Imagine a world where this was, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You all see nothing. Seems legit, right, Zero? Welcome in. I am here explaining as a third party to just someone who's quite familiar with these things, but is not an active participant. What is happening here? But yes, Putty, we're here talking about the fun things. For example, we have here, let's talk about lighter than air furniture. So if you look over here at this bed is lighter than air. How does this work? Well, it was granted. So according to, you might be thinking, oh, it's this guy, right? Well, not necessarily. It might be this guy. According to these people, this is the future. They have this here. And once again, where do you get these crazy things from? Oh, this is from actually, if you go to Google Patents. If you type in something, let's talk about hamster. Let's talk about hamster. Let's see what shows up. Or Putty. Oh, Chinese hamster ovary cell strain. There's a lot of medical looking stuff here. Let's do hamster zoo. Let's see what shows up here. Okay. Oh, let's see this one. There's a picture here. Apparently, according to Google, there's a hamster in here somewhere. These areas, there are different kid-friendly themes, including my aquarium, my hamster, or my room. Okay, let me unlock this and show this to you all real quick. If I can get it working. A lot of stuff in the way. It says here, my hamster. Medical. I don't want to be used as medicine. Yeah, I haven't found a better hamster one, but yeah, they got a hamster thing going on right over there. Okay. What else we got going on? Here's what we'll do. You'll put in hamster, and then I'll take out like health and antibodies. Oh, okay. We'll try health. It got mad at me for that one. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not finding stuff that might help out for you, but oh well. I'm so sorry. Let's keep going with the fun stuff. This here, do you all see this over here? This is oh no, this is relevant to Putty. Look at this right here. You had a gun earlier. I hope, by the way, your stream went well with Hello Harland. Oh, we have a break coming up in 2 minutes. Okay, this here is a gun for trapping insects. So what you do here is, this is a granted patent. So that means these people, Darren, thought this was like, that their claim, not that this was good, but that the language down here was good enough to, which actually I'm looking at this looks fine. So what it does, you put it against the bug and it closes this wall, apparently. See, you hold it over the fly. See, this is good, right? Right? Don't you want one of these? You just shoot and I think it like, there's other stuff here. I have to, we'll have to see what 20 does and 30. Like, apparently it does something. I'm not sure what this is. I don't know what this is doing, but yeah. So you just hold it up. Oh, it might like smash it. I'm not sure. I'll have to take a look. We do have to take a break in a minute. So Putty, I appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, let's take a look. Slider to lift the insect off the contact surface, and when it's closed, there's a catch container and a closed. And then you can see other like iterations of it, other versions that they would like. That's the stance energy. Yeah, so I thought this was your energy. Let me see if there's anything fun real quick before the ads go off. Yeah, I guess that's it for... Oh, let me get you this moose eating before the ads start. You emit by holding the Glock. Yeah, you send out the waves. So this here is a moose. And so what this does, this device is... I'll explain this more after the break, but if the moose like hits your car, you have a device on the car that can yeet the moose off. You see these airbags here? It launches the moose behind you, all right? So next time any of you need to, drive, feel free to get one of these things. We'll talk more about it after the break. Those of you watching in the future, we won't be long. Those of you watching in the present, we won't be too long. But I will see you all in a bit. Bye, Putty. Thank you for stopping by. See you all in a bit. All right, folks, it is time to continue class. Let me go ahead and unmute this music right over here. So, yeah, let's get back to talking about this stuff right here. So, again, what this is saying is there's apparently, according to the drawings, thank you for the web app. So, according to the drawings, which again aren't as important, are only here to support the language at the end. You have a device anchored here. If the moose lands right there, it can't, based on the actuators and the sensors, you yeet the moose behind you. All right, folks? Feel free to get any yeets or yeets in chat. Apparently, let's find out what Figure 5D is talking about, because now there's a person here. We're just hitting a person here with a car. If anyone could take a screenshot of chat or of my stream right now and send it to me, I would love that. Yeet, thank you. I kind of want to make this my post-stream tweet, but we don't necessarily, you don't have to, but I'm excited to find out where this goes. So I'll leave it up here for like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's find out what's going on here. So what they do is first they talk about, hey, we're related to, this application is related to this older one. This is what we're about, the industry. This is the problem we're trying to solve. The large animal could be a moose, elk, deer, reindeer, kangaroo, cow, or horse. It talks about, there's a risk to hit animals, especially in rural areas and driving fast. And then right here, they talk about the different pictures. It gave a little summary. And then what we're actually looking for, 5D. Let's take a look. In case of a collision with a vulnerable road user, is instead moved to a deployed position, and it will deform and absorb impact energy. So what's happening here, sorry, excuse me, instead of yeeting the person, so it's going to yeet the moose, but instead of yeeting the person, it will open in a way that lets this collapse. You see this 25 double apostrophe? I'm pretty sure that corresponds, let's double check right here, 25, the bonnet member, 25 apostrophe will deform due to the impact. So basically, once again, if moose, you get yeeted. If person, vulnerable road user is what you're called, then you just get cradled. You get nestled, like some sort of baby getting yeeted out of a centrifugal machine. So that's this one. Let's see what else I've got saved up here. So this one here is called Godly Powers. This one is just a publication application, so it might not necessarily have been granted. So this person is saying, I, Chris, am a godly entity. I want exclusive right to the ethical use and financial gain in the use of godly powers on planet Earth. I see. Well, you can probably imagine how this one turned out. Let's see what oh no. This looks very wrong. This looks very incorrect. It says here that this is also incorrect language, but this is proved via David Copperfield, who I assume is the magician. Also, hey dude, welcome in, good to see you. Ahoy, let me show you the fun stuff we've been looking at. So first of all, we have here the moose yeeter. So if you've ever been driving and you'd be like, oh man, I sure hope I don't hit a moose. Failed indeed, that person failed. So this yeets the moose behind your car, but if you hit an actual vulnerable road user, you just cushion them gently here on the hood. This one was granted, it's patent number 9 million. It was granted in August 2015. So this is the moose yeeter, it's by Volvo. Safety arrangement for a vehicle. So Harold Hasselblad and Linus Wagstrom, thank you for your service. All right, for your Moose Yeeter 9000, your Moose Yeetinator, if you will. Let's see what else is going on here. If that worked, it would actually save lives, wouldn't it? Let's see. The hip-mounted exercising device with precision tether adjuster. This is all this is. If anyone wants to take a picture of this too, a little screenshot and send it to me, you don't have to. This here is like one of those paddle games, except you wrap it around your hip. And look at these people right over here. We got 12 right here. We got 11. Yes, this here is definitely normal. It's an application publication. It might have been granted. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can look right here. It was granted in 2004. It was intended to have expired in 2021. And if you might be wondering about this length, it's typically like between 15 to 20 years. But if the person over here, oh, I guess this is a bad example. Where would have got Volvo? If this person over here took a particularly long time, then they get it for longer because, well, it took longer for them to get it. And it looks like, yeah, there's a lot of other stuff here in play. Let's see what else is fun here to look at. Godly Powers again. This one was abandoned in 2007. So yes, they failed as stuck and posted with those nat ones. This one is the promotion of peace, love, and understanding through the global proliferation of snow people. Okay, so what's going on here? Well, that's a very good question because hell if I know. Looks like there is this instant snowfield, ultimate snowman. There's a lot going on here. Was this granted? It was abandoned. They failed. It was published in 2013. They filed it in 2012. It failed. So yeah, you've got your ultimate snowman here. You've heard of ultimate dodgeball, but this is ridiculous. What you do is you roll up the snow right over here, and it does things. Let me see if the Frostiomatic is. Oh, it's a perfect snowman maker. Oh, so you wrap up snow and it like makes a snowman for you. That's pretty. Oh, this is terrifying. Spike, what is going on here? Wow, Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny? Interesting. Fun fact, you will see different characters, cartoon characters, movie characters, celebrities in these sometime. Opening from the inventor. Help, I can't stop writing humorously about this topic, but seriously, folks, how do you write about a snowman or snow woman? Did they really just say, oh, snow woman? I thought they were saying snow, like, oh, whoa, ooh, woo. I see why it failed. Clear, this is not a joke patent. It's a real invention and a real attempt to obtain a patent. Oh, wait a minute. They have here. Oh, no. These are the 61. These are, think of it like these are real rough drafts. So he filed his first draft in 2011. And then he finally filed this one. Snow Manifesto? You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Let me zoom in. Look at this. Look at this, y'all. You cannot make this up. Where's my red arrow? Where is my red arrow? Come here, red arrow. Oh, no, I lost it. Oh, here you are. Look at the... Oh. Look at the Snow Manifesto. Snow Manifesto? Okay, I'm screenshotting this for myself. Snow Manifesto. Snow Man. That's exactly what I thought it was gonna be. So yeah, I can't believe this. Snow Manifesto. Look, that's quite simple. Was I trying to make fun of patents? Is my goal to sue little children? Am I the devil? No, and 1,000 times no. Sheesh. What I am about is creating something positive for the world. And I'm completely stoked about how my snowman is putting smiles on people's faces. It is so freaking cool, no pun intended, how people are getting this and seeing the positiveness in my patents. That doesn't mean I'm a peace freak either. Anyway. Snow Woman. Peace out. All right. What's going on over here? I chose humor to engage readers. Scrabble. The Lego, Play-Doh, and yes, now the Ultimate Snowman are all patented. Is that his thing? Let's take a look. Let me zoom back out and go over here. He's got other stuff that's expired, fee related, and active. Okay, so what we do is we go over here to this page. This is related. This is new to me. I did not review this one beforehand, unlike the others. This is a snowman making device for making a snow person having light emitting structures. Look at this. So you've got the snowman. And apparently you can put LEDs in him or something like that. In his balls, maybe? I'm not sure what's going on here. So this one was granted. This one was granted in 2016 of September, so 8 years ago. So there's an adhesion service. So apparently you like adhere it. Oh, look, you got a snow cat and a little snow dog. Very cute. Yeah, so this is good stuff. This one was this person, Sanders, not Bernie, approved this one. Things that he thought was relevant was this European one, all these United States patents one, beat patterns. So it probably like, let's find out. Let's find out and jump straight here. So there's a ball inside. And then you can put these nodules. And when you roll, extend all the balls rolled. And then the light transmits the layer of snow. Okay, yeah, it's just a light from inside the ball. Okay, all right, anyway, let's get back to looking at stuff. Why did I do this one? Let me check my notes here real quick. 6-3. What is this? 9-3-4. Oh, it's all because it says Badoop over here. Let me show you all. Open it as a PDF. The reason why I brought this one is just because it says Badoop. You got a Badoop decoder. Badoop. That might be the sound that someone might hear as they lazily place a magazine advertisement in front of the desktop camera. Badoop. That might be the same sound. Okay, it's just a fun name. I'm going to sleep. Good night, everyone. All right, good night, Shramka. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for learning. All right, let's see what else is here. The promote. Oh, we already did that one. Godly powers. The moose thingy. Safety range. Low level. What did I pull up this one? 2009. What's funny about this one? This is human. Yeah, I'll skip this one for now. Someone say dupe. Yeah, Badoop. All right, this here is a decorative and ornamental device for individual use. It's intended to be used in various spheres of human activities. So it allows to create a device imitating the natural growth of hair in a particular area or an intimate hairstyle. It provides light and sound effects. And it can make you a fake beard, a fake mustache. You can choose the form, color, and what this looks like. Yeah, so this is meant to go down there. And it's for your hair. Yep. Anyway. Relationship board game for use by couples. Oh, I know why I pulled up this one. It's because if you look over here. Watch this, watch this. I got to show you all this description. It says here. This permits a robot to cure cancer, fight a war, write software, read a book, learn to drive a car, draw a picture, or solve a complex math problem in less than 1 second. This one was abandoned, it looks like. There's a time machine involved here. So this invention is 2 parts, a robot and a virtual world used by said robot as an embedded sixth sense. Anyway, that is definitely not something that's... yeah. Anyway, what else do we got here? We got the hip thing again. We got the gun. Why did I pull up this one? Let me give me a sec for here. 2011. Oh, this one's funny. So there's a conversation here. And what's funny is here, it mentions here, oh my God, what will we do? Should I tell James that I will disinherit him unless he improves his grades? That's messed up. We'll get back to video games in a bit. Oh, did I show you all this boat yet? I hope I did. Yes, look at this boat. This is for putting cereal. So you put cereal in here and you put milk in here. It's cute. It's cute. Here's that floating bed again. Resurrection burial tube, the hamster, glow in the dark lighter. I think Dupe hasn't seen this one yet, but here we got a glow in the dark lighter. It's quite interestingly designed, and this one was granted in 2003. And it expired in 2000. Oh no, it expired early because, or like money wise. You've got your graham cracker blinders, and let's get back to the video games. Why we're here in the first place. Okay, so this one right here. This one is from a patent, so it is correct. Let me see if I can find it. 6139433. 6139433. Well, if it glows in the dark, then I ought to have it, right? I think it's this one. So, video game system and method with an enhanced 3-dimensional character and background control. So this is by Nintendo. It was filed in 1997, and that is this. Is Mario moving? No. Is he in sand? Oh, you can see this here. Movement over everything else. If he's not moving, then he'll be concerned about being in quicksand. If he's not moving here, and he's not in quicksand, then he's worried about poison gas. But if he's not in poison gas, in addition to all that, let's see if he's low on health. If he is, then he's out of breath. If he's not, then let's see how long it's been since he stopped. And then he'll look around at if it has not been long enough. And then we'll see if he's in the snow. And if he'll be like, he'll rub his hands together. And then if not, then he'll go sleep. Mario can just run over the quicksand. Well, he can't like run over it, as you might know. You know, he like... Oh, I see what you mean. Like, he shouldn't be able to run over like that. Yeah, it's kind of like, what is that? Surface tension rules, even though it's not accurate. You know how it is in these older games. So thankfully, this is one of those times it is correct. This is a patent, and it's right here. It was granted by this Michael O'Neill guy in relation with, again, if you want to look at this picture, in case those of you, this is Michael over here on the right, and then this person on the left here is Nixon and Vanderhei. And then these people here, Shigeru Miyamoto himself is over here on the left. The quicksand is oobleck, right? That non-Newtonian fluid. Feel free to ask me more about non-Newtonian fluids, as I am an expert. All right. So once again, here we have a Nintendo 64, and this is a granted patent. But again, the drawings aren't the most important thing. They are here to provide context for what's actually happening. Oh, you can see here Peach's castle. They're here to, and the controllers. They're here to provide context for these right here. This is what's going to be looked at. Thank you for the care package. Let me hydrate right here. When it comes to patent infringement, they're going to be looking at these here, starting at what is claimed is. Anything before this is just context for the most important part, this stuff right here. And so they'll be looking at this. And again, a lot of this language isn't really important in the moment. But yeah, you got Miyamoto right here. Let me leave this on the Nintendo 64. Let me drink. Thank you for the care package. I am stretched. All right. And one of the last things I'll talk about is they were talking about, remember the Namco stuff? This right here is recording media method and load of games program code means, and this is all like, this is unimportant language. So what this is doing is they're doing auxiliary game program code before the main game program code is loaded. This is that loading screen patent, and it is a patent because it only has these 6 or 7 or 8 numbers, as opposed to the one that everyone's looking at over here, which again, if you go this early, these have not been approved, okay? This has too many numbers. This is just an application publication. So if patent infringement is at play, the most important thing is to be looking at the granted patents, specifically, yes, this is a patent, these down here. Let's go ahead and look at the method of 5. So this is the most important thing right here. And this is what expired. Because if you look at it, it expired in 2015. Lifetime means they kept paying the money for it. And that's why you can have loading screen video games now, because this is expired. And so this person, it seems they did their due diligence. You know, they either this person or this person or Namco brought attention to these things like PlayStation, Famicom, this stuff, so that they could make their best determination. Again, these people over here on the right, that, well, this is good to go. And now it's gone. Now we can have good stuff again. So to recap, I talked here today about the Nintendo Pokemon stuff. Again, these are not patents. You want specific things that have these numbers up here. Is there anything I've forgotten to talk about? Let me check my stream notes. I wanted to talk about, yes, Google is filing some stuff only in America, so they get to keep it secret. That's not bad necessarily. They're not being like sneaky. Like, it's, you know, it's just the rule. That's how it is. Like, if you promise the United States Patent and Trademark Office that you won't file in other countries, then you don't have to get it published after 18 months. Once a patent goes through, is there a chance of someone going back and looking at it again? Yes. If it gets brought up in something like this case, there's a chance that like judges will look at this and they will like invalidate it. They will say, oh, well, actually, you can't do that because of X, or you can't do that because of Y. And so there is a chance that this will get looked at. But thankfully, these people don't have to worry about this. That's a whole nother can of worms, a whole new set of people that have to worry about it. These people don't have to like go on trial or for anything for like fraud or something like that, because, you know, usually that's not their intention. So yeah, people will be talking about this. If it's like got these numbers, it's not real yet. And again, if you look at the websites that are available down here, if you look at these websites, you'll be able to find things like this page that lets you know, hey, it actually in September 13, 2024, it was denied. So there's a chance that they might not actually get it. And it's all up to the attorneys on either side of the case to see, well, what's at play here. Quick things that I want to talk about real quick. Again, the inventor, the people who own it. This is a summary. All of this is public information. Yes. After 18 months. That's why if you remember earlier, I linked Lita's stream and her YouTube video. So if you look at those videos, which I will, do not want to get history in there. I'll pull up those videos again. Let me copy this. So if you watch her vid, the person correctly points out that it's a risk to file, because then it'll show up here on sites like this on Google Patents. So you'll either have to hope that you get it looked at pretty quickly before other people can capitalize on it. But you know, that's questions above the pay grade. I'm just here to let you all know, like, when you look at this stuff like this is the person, these are the people who invented it. These are the people who own it. These are the people who looked at it. This is the person who was in communication with these people to get it past this person who's like the obstacle in the way. Max, thank you for the stretch. Let me stand up real quick. Thank you for the posture check. While I'm standing up, let me go ahead and keep the Nintendo 64 up here for you. All right, thank you for the stretch. People will look at the drawings and they will be worried. They will send out all this, what is it called when you kind of like panic and you make other people panic? It's really, the drawings aren't important here. They're not as important as if you are involved in this case in any way. You want to look at this 35 of, well, and again, this is just a publication. And the reason why I say 35 is because like 31 is typically just the same, but has a different intro paragraph. Number 1 is usually the same, but it says here non-transitory computer readable medium. But again, it does a first mode, an aim, and a launch. If you look down here at 35, it's a method. First mode, aim and launch. Second mode, aim and launch. And again, for the new people like Max who just came in, all this application is saying is that you have a first mode where you can catch Pokemon, and you have a second mode where you can shoot out a Pokemon for them to fight. It's not as simple as that because it has to be like this. So for those of you who have played Power World, I'm not familiar with the game because I've never played it myself, but let's pretend for a minute this is a granted patent. And again, like the dates, the application dates, I'm sure they come into play. Like, you look at this, you look at the final form this is in, because remember this diagram over here? They reject it and they make changes and send it again. So this could not even be the final form. The person thought, most likely, that, oh, people are doing this already. That's their job, to find other companies. Like, they'll say, oh, PlayStation's doing this already. Or they'll say, like maybe there's this game called Power World that's doing it already, and they'll send it back, and then they have a chance to change this, to add more words to make it different enough so that this person will say, yeah, we'll send it through. You can pay us the money now for your patent. So this one is still fresh right here. Oh, wrong one. Like, it's fresh off the thing, September 13, off the conveyor belts. They've sent it back, and now the inventors here for Nintendo have, again, 3 months or up to 6 months if they pay more to change this and send it back again. So it's not even done. It's not even done cooking. So yeah, that's the Nintendo Switch right here. We looked again briefly at the Nemesis system. Oh, sorry, this is the Super Mario 64 one right over here. So again, we looked at the Nintendo 64 real quick, and that is talking about right over here that Mario, is kind of doing this. Whether or not you can patent this game mechanic, because Lita does mention a lot in her video that game mechanics shouldn't be patented, that's a question above the pay grade of many. But as her co-host Kevin Spicy pointed out, there are a lot of people who feel like certain things shouldn't be patented. So let's say a game doesn't do well and then end the game, but they already paid for the patent for the next year. They get the money back? No. Actually, that's a question above my pay grade, but you probably want to keep that because, all right, I have a very mysterious and interesting meeting to get to. Catch you later. Enjoy your intellectual gold rush. Thank you for stopping by, Dupe. So the thing is, they can still keep that because it's not tied to the game specifically. They don't even have to use this specifically for Pokemon Go or Pokemon Legends Arceus. They could use this for other games. And so it could be valuable for them to keep the granted patent for this because a lot of companies have patent portfolios. You know how companies are bought and sold all the time, like Dell and EMC? Well, because of another piece of intellectual property that gets traded, sold up, split up, and shared around includes patents. So they could sell it to another company. It could be part of their portfolio if they get bought out or if they buy someone else out. And yeah, Nemesis system was right over here. It was granted again in 2021. And this article here did well. It makes sense because they got IP up here. So they did well. And then we looked at the Namco loading screen games real quick. What else were the funny ones we looked at? We got the Blinders. We have the Nightlight. I'm back. Sorry, we're doing construction in my bathroom. Got to tell the guys what we're. All right, welcome back. I'm just about to wrap up here because I think we've pretty much talked about everything. What is this? That was the baby checking machine. This is a perpetual motion machine. You can see it's abandoned because you can't actually patent a perpetual motion machine. It's physically impossible. This is a resurrection burial tomb. You can see the picture of the skeleton right over here. This one was also abandoned, was not granted. So as much as people do make fun of some patents and they say, why are you guys like approving all this stuff? Some stuff doesn't get through. Hi, Captain. Lurking while I get some stuff done. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Luna. I appreciate it. Well, wait, Professor, I just got here. There's a yes. I'm planning to put up a recording, but I'll try to summarize. Good luck getting your stuff done, Luna. Let's start from, now that Josh and Luna are here, let me show you all this. Let me get a good picture. This here is a baby chucking machine. It's called Apparatus for Facilitating the Birth of a Child by Centrifugal Force. What you want to do is you want to strap the person in, spin them around really fast, and there's a net here. You can see this net to catch the baby in. So this is one of the things we looked at. Thanks to inventors George Blonsky and Charlotte Blonsky, we have such fancy inventions such as this. Granted in 1965. Puma, thank you for the daily check-in. Thank you for being part of the flock. What does this have to do with Nintendo? I'm just showing up some cool people, some cool or otherwise strange patents or applications. So, sorry, let's get back to the Nintendo real quick. Ignore things like this pubic hair thing. Ignore things like this time machine. Ignore things like, oh, well, we have to show everyone this. So if you've ever driven into a moose, And you're like, oh man, what can I do about that? Cool patents, haha, baby launcher. So this thing launches not only the baby, this one launches a moose off the back of your car. My favorite Nintendo device, baby launcher, Pokemon baby launcher, coming soon. But you might be wondering, Troy, what if I'm not a moose? Yeet, exactly. Stuckum remembers from earlier, yeet. What if you're not a moose? Well, if you are a moose, it launches you. But if you are not a moose, if you are a, what was it that they said here? If you're a person, imagine this is you right here. So this is referring to, it's a bonnet member that will deform due to impact with the vulnerable road user 61. So if anyone else here is a vulnerable road user, like this guy right here, chime in. Chime in if you're a vulnerable road user. Also, Liz, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I hope you take that ticket as a reminder of the good times to come and the good times you may have had here. We are here getting yeeted, or not yeeted. We're getting cradled nice and comfortably, just like in the baby eater back over. Oh, this here, it's a bowl you can put your cereal in. Hey, Liz, welcome in. I hope you are well. Let me know if there's any questions you have, but for now, we're looking at the strange pattern. So this here is cereal you can put in the milk up top. Let's see. The bowl is boat-shaped. The milk container is pivotally supported on top of the ship's mast, and the serving spoon is stored on the boat-shaped bowl in the position of the rudder. Better than now that I'm here learning so much. I'm glad you're here to learn. So, sorry, let's go back to the Nintendo stuff, because that's why people are here technically. So if you go back up here, this is the Nintendo Switch right here. This one is it's a patent application publication. It is not a final patent. It's not a granted patent. It is just an application. And if you go click on the websites that Google has for you right up top right here, if you click on these websites, you can see that it was rejected back in, where's the right page? September 13, 2024. They said it's not in the right condition. We can't approve it, okay? So as a quick recap, now you got people, not a patent. Thank you, Stuckup. So the inventors are here. They pay a fee, kind of like subs, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 Twitch subs. Pay more if you're a company like Nintendo. Pay less if you're a single person, a small entity. You don't have to pay as much. It's best you talk to a patent attorney and their sidekicks, the patent agents. The attorneys get paid more. They need a law degree, a Juris Doctor. The agents don't need a law degree. They typically do a lot of the work. They sometimes get less or more depending on the situation. I too talk about money and finance as it relates to Twitch subs. Yeah, I can't take credit for that. Someone else said that in here. So what they do is they give it to the attorney who translates it into this fancy language here where it says things like, well, most importantly, let me jump down here. In a first mode, aiming direction, launch an item that affects a field character and then give an effect to the field character. Or in the second mode, launch a fighting character that fights and cause them to fight each other. You know what that is? Those of you who play Pokemon Legends Arceus, that right here is you can catch a Pokemon in the first mode. Or if you have a Pokemon, you can throw it out and they can fight. Is there a patent office that sets rules for all to follow? Well, as a reminder, there are for the new people too, because Josh and Luna are here, there are 5 major patent offices in the world. United States, Europe, Japan, China, and Korea. They all have their own rules, but a lot of them share rules or they promise to work together. When I go to exchange for money, I ask them how much is that in Twitch subs? Nice. I would be your money changer. I would translate for you. So they basically send it to these attorneys to translate it. Like, you know, people like, if you look at the patent over here, Miyamoto. Shigeru Miyamoto is here on the left. They either have in-house counsel or they outsource it to a third-party people who will translate it into this fancy language right over here. This abstract is too long. They can't be more than 150 words. This here is incorrect, and it was granted. Shame on you, Michael O'Neill. Shame on you. Anyway, it should not be longer than that. This might have been before they changed the rules, so that's fine. So then they make these drawings. And, you know, they take screenshots of the Nintendo 64. See, like this Peach Castle right here? Can Cap Sus be a professor for everything? If there's anything you all want to know, I just happen to know a lot about this particular subject. Like, you know that meme from Parks and Rec, I know more than you? That's me right now. I hear these people talking about, oh, the patent. I mean, no, this isn't the patent. Unless drawings, right? These aren't as important because they're just here to support this stuff. This is what's important. If this right here, because this again is... This is this right here. If someone were to say, hey, we did this first, a thing where if you're standing in place oh, you're moving, right? But if you're like not moving, then sand and then poison. If someone said we did this first, they would not look at these drawings. These are not the important things, okay? There's a lot of hearsay. There's a lot of misinformation about there. They would look specifically at this stuff right over here, where it starts what is claimed is. It would start on this page. It's the last pages that are the most important. Useless, sorry, I missed the first, unless, oh, susless? Oh, useless drawings. Yeah, they're not super useless, but they just are there to provide support. So if someone's like, yeah, we do this, and then the person on the right can be like, can you at least give us the drawings? They're like step 2 of the process. All right. It's all about these first, and then they go back and check it, like to make sure, oh, okay, the drawings will help the person on the right explain what the person here said, which is what they translated this person's stuff, what Shigeru Miyamoto was thinking about when he was talking about bedroom eyes. Where's the bedroom eyes ones? I want to see what you're looking at here. Was it this one over here? Is this the bedroom eyes you're talking about? This one right here? Yes. So you can thank, anyway, this is from Super Mario Broth blog on Twitter. That's where I pulled this up. So yeah, this is the second thing we were looking at. We also, of course, looked at the Nemesis system by Warner Bros. We can use the websites here. Again, you can look at these websites right here, and that's what I pulled up over here to see that there was a lot of back and forth. Oh, it's on a different tab. But this was granted in 2021. Thanks to this person, once again, it's the orange person. And then we have the firm right here, which is the dark blue person. So yeah, if you want to, because this is kind of what I insinuated in, I think, my Go Live thing, or maybe I didn't. But if you are, this would be you here. You paid money a lot, but not as much as this. You work with a patent attorney, you submit it. They kick it back usually because, it's not in the right condition yet. And there's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of money at play. There's a lot of like red tape, and not the fun kind, for something like this to come up. And once again, I'll point to this good article. This was a good article. They post pictures. They talk about what's important. It's those things from the last set of pages. This is what's important in the Nemesis system. And they even pull up one of the appropriate, like, relevant drawings, even though, once again, this is to bring context to this. This is the thing that's most important. What is also important in my mind enough to bring up here is stuff like these blinders. Have you ever wanted to focus on sports enough? Sports ball, looking at some of the diagrams reminds me of logarithms. Yeah, I can see that. There's a wide variety of diagrams like this one. Anyone else look like this when you played sports in high school? This here is not a video game patent, but it is a game patent. These are just examples of it's an application publication. There we go. I'm making the same mistake that other people are making. This one was not granted yet. It might have been. Let's find out. It was granted in 2008, and they stopped paying for it because, once again, most of the money made here is from the upkeep on the right. It's not from filing. It's not even from refiling a second. Because, once again, if you can get rejected twice, and I'm talking about the patent system, and I'm not talking about like boyfriends and girlfriends. If you get rejected twice, you can either give up or pay money to try again, just like the real world. Wait. Anyway. So that's the process here. Now, a lot of people talk about the process because the reason why it's important is everyone is talking about these early patent application publications up here, like this one, but these have not been granted yet. This is still it's literally this first black line. It got here, they kicked it back purple, it's here. It's not ready yet, it's still in the oven. Just like girlfriends, boyfriends, what do you mean? Yeah, you got to pay more money. Right here, and you get to try again. That's how it works, right? Money makes the world go round. So we talked about the Pokemon Legends Arceus patent application publication. We talked about the Super Mario 64 one right over here, where they've got pictures of Peach's castle. Again, the pictures provide context. They have pictures of the Nintendo 64 controller. You can see the flowchart here. Actually, since this is granted, let's see what they actually they patented. Oh, for use 1. Input device, system for use. 3-dimensional space. Manipulation state. The thing is, again, the drawings aren't important. So unless the drawing is actually put right here. Oh, let's look at 10. 1. 6. Where's the system? Where's the method? Give me just a second. Let me check method or process. Figure 29. All right, but do they have a case against Palworld? Welcome in, welcome in. Well, again, it depends on what the we don't know unless we know the specific patents that they're looking at. And again, this is a patent application publication. Think of it as the dough. It depends what finished pastries are at play here. These are the Nintendos. If anyone knows which intellectual property pieces that Power World is in danger of having be brought up by the attorneys representing Nintendo, and once again, it's not these attorneys. These are patent attorneys that translate it and put it in this state. This was written by these dark blue people. They get sent to the people who are in orange. Power World said they don't even know yet. Well, in that case, it probably depends on their portfolio. Because the thing that you'll want to look at, because I want to set you all up for the future, you want to look at the last few pages of the documents. You preferably want there to be less numbers. You want there to only be 8, sometimes 7. You only want there to be 8 numbers, like in something like this. This only has 7 numbers. Because this one is finished. It's finished baking. So you want to hope that it has this in Power World's portfolio, their patent portfolio. Then you have to look at where it says, so you look here at this Nintendo one, right? Let's pretend for a sec that it's finished, that it's granted. It will look like this right here, but a little different. Because once again, we have this back and forth to add and make changes. With enough changes, the baking is finally complete. It's finished cooking. You look at this, then you look at Power World stuff, and you compare the two. And that's when the attorneys are going to come in and say, well, again, not these attorneys, different attorneys. They'll say, well, you see, this has first mode launching item at a field character, and it like catches them, right? It gives an effect. This is so broad. So the fact that it was rejected by this person, they probably, again, this is theoretical on my part, because every one of these people is different. And once again, the people on the left here have a lot of information on the right people about how difficult, how loose, or how strict they are. So depending on how strict that person was, this could change, because this is theorizing. If the Power World patent looks similar to this, specifically first mode, launch, item at field, that item that affects field character, give an effect associated with the item to the field character, then they might have a problem, like this and this. If Power World, like for those of you who have played Power World, again, let me know if you know the mechanics, how the mechanics work. You throw an item, is it like Legends Arceus, where you can throw a Pokeball, or you can throw a Pokeball and releases like a Pokemon. So it all depends, the patents at play from Power World, the ones at play from Nintendo, and don't let people, what's the word again for like scare you? Don't let people fearmonger based on pictures. Look at this, like, oh, this picture's here. See, Nintendo has a ball right here, and they're catching a pterodactyl. No, do not. Oh, and it says nice. That's not important. What's important is right here. It's always the last pages here, or if you're looking at the Google version, it's always the thing on the right side. You want to look right here. If there's a lot of similarities, then things aren't looking good for the person who filed later, because the United States, as Kevin Spicy pointed out, and let me link that video again for you because the video is pretty good. So Lita had a guest in software patent inventor on her channel. Is this where the mediator comes in? Here, let me link this video real quick. So this is from the viewpoint of someone who, right here, Kevin is one of these people. He works in the dark brown, and if he's a software inventor, he's probably in this bigger group that isn't one of the small entities, most likely. This is where this is the portion that is above the pay grade of many, including myself. I don't know much about the process once it gets there, but I do know what they're looking at. And once again, that is published patents. Of course, these and their filing dates will come into play sometimes. And as a reminder, this Nintendo filed in Japan first. And then a year and a half later from that is when it gets published in the United States, after they filed in September 2022. So again, these people are at this early stage right here. It just got kicked back once. We got the Nintendo patent application publication. We have here the Super Mario 64 one, in case Camilla hasn't seen this one. You probably saw this one in the discourse. Super Mario 64. This one was granted. You can see Shigeru Miyamoto right here as an inventor. So he's one of these dark brown people over here. They worked with, so the thing is, because he's a higher up in the company, it's most likely that one of these people actually did it. But it's early enough that he could have actually worked on it. A lot of times, especially with like say Google, right? They put Eric Schmidt's name on it because he's like CEO, right? He might not have actually played a large part in it. You do throw items that affect field characters in ways different based on the item thrown, if I recall. In normal worlds, basically, Pokemon Legends Arceus Pokeballs. I don't remember how it works with creatures. All right. Oh, so once again, it depends on the portfolio. So for example, for this one, if someone were to say, we did this first, or we did this, you stole it, they would have to look not necessarily at this drawing, but at the last set here, starting at what is claimed is. This is a published patent, ending in 433. They will look at all this stuff. All the drawings and stuff like this diagram here is for context. All right. So we've got this one. We have the Nemesis system. This one, again, by Warner Brothers. And once again, these people over here summarized it very well. They talked about the important stuff they'll be looking at. See, the monopoly of the patent was defined as follows. So this site, Glory Stop IP, they specifically brought this up because a lot of people will pull up the drawings. And while they do mention drawings here, and they do give screenshots here, the most important thing people will be looking at is here. Ignore language that isn't bolded, like processor, computer implemented game. The player character controlled by us. The non-player character controlled by the computer, the CPU, the non-playable character. This is what's going on here. And they kind of like summarize it and they translate it, which is important. And you can tell these people have the experience to basically serve as this right here. And they serve as the translators so that it gets submitted. So imagine the people on the left, like Miyamoto, they say stuff like this. They're like, yeah, if he runs from the fight with Zumug, then at the next encounter with Talion, they'll say, not letting you run this time. So then that's when these people in blue come into play. They will go ahead and make it look like, let's pull up the Nemesis system again. Right here, they'll say all this stuff. This needs to be less than 150 words. This is stuff that the person on the right has said, oh, you know what, your stuff is kind of like this. So this is stuff that they're saying is similar. And then they've got the drawings. And then they've got all the text down here to work on. And you can kind of look at this portion as a summary. But if you're looking for the real stuff that's important in a patent infringement case, once again, you want to look at the stuff that's down here. Everything starting from the invention claimed is, and primarily just the one that's by itself that says comprising. Like this one says of claim 1. This is like related stuff. It's not as important. It can still be important, especially if the other case, like say, if Pal World, for example, has this portion and this portion, and Nintendo only has this portion, that's going to be important too. It's all based on primarily this first thing here on the right, sometimes these other ones. So we talked about the Nemesis system. What else did we got over here? We have this one over here, which once again is this is the one that expired in according to Google patents. Because again, this is just Google patents. Anyone can go to this site and put something in. So if you put, let's see, Annapurna. Let's see what shows up for Annapurna. Okay, nothing correct. All right, ignore that. So you go here and you'll see that it expired in 2015. Manual breathing. Thank you, Joe. What I miss? I'm just recapping since we've got a lot of new people in here. Annapurna, rest in peace. I heard they got split off into 2, by the way. It's like 2 factions. So this here, once again, is the Namco one. Auxiliary game program code, that's a mini game, can happen in the game's machine before it finishes loading, and loading while it's running. This is that mini game patent that everyone talks about. And you can say patent for this because it's been granted. It says patent, and it's only 7, sometimes 8 numbers. As opposed, once again, to stuff like this, where it's multiple numbers, application publication happens 18 months after the filing and is not finished yet. It's still dough. It's still baking. This is finished bread. It's a patent, yes. Anna and Perna, yeah, that's the 2 factions. That's not what they're called. And of course, I'm sure you were here earlier when I was showing off the fun stuff like curing diseases of the soul. For any of you who are worried because you have diseases of the soul, For any of you who need blinders on when you play sports, you know, you're like playing sports, and you're like, man, I really need to focus when I play tennis. And then this here is a glow-in-the-dark lighter. And this one is, of course, you know, shaped in such a fashion, and it is granted. It's got these numbers here. Yes, I am, let's say I am associated. I saw Ticketmaster got sued this year. Oh, was it patent related? This is my favorite thing to show off to you all. Let me show this again. Where's the thing for this? Okay. This here is an apparatus. Oh, welcome in, Truskakawa. If you had to choose who should lose. Oh, would it be elves or dwarves? I feel like I am not capable of answering such a question, as I play games that have both. I play a lot of Deep Rock Galactic, but welcome in. We're here to talk about this apparatus for facilitating the birth of a child by centrifugal force. And so what you do is you strap the lady in here. There's a net here to catch the baby. It spins around, and the net catches the baby. And you might be wondering, well, what if the baby's particularly big? Well, that is my perfect segue to something like this. Where's the yeeter? Is it here? No, that's the pubic thing. Here's the yeeter. So, patented elf rights? Well, elf rights might not be a patent. So there's a few different things of intellectual property. There's patents, there's trademarks, there's copyright, which in the US is handled by the Library of Congress. There's also trade secrets. So, folks, have you ever hit a moose before? Chime in if you've hit a moose or other large animal before. And you've hit it, right? Start to fear and take care. All right. So you hit the moose. There's a device that you have installed that yeets the moose behind you. Doe, a deer, a female deer. And this specifically is by Volvo. This one was granted in 2015 by Dixon and Coker. Dixon and Coker being the orange and the light orange people here respectively. They worked with this firm here, Allman, Hall, McCoy, Russell, and Tuttle. They probably didn't work with multiple. They worked with 1, 2 max, sometimes 3. And then the inventors at play here, Harold and Linus, are these people here on the left. And they probably had to pay a tier 3 Twitch sub and not a tier 1 Twitch sub because Volvo is a large corporation. So they worked with this they worked with the firm Allman, Hall, McCoy to translate their stuff into the document that you would have seen here, right here, that was published in 2014 that I could pull up if I hit like some document right here. So what you do is you've got the moose here, you yeet them. But you might be wondering, Troy, what if I hit a person? That right here is a vulnerable road. Sorry, I always forget the name. So the bonnet member will deform due to impact with a vulnerable road user and absorb impact energy. So if any of you are vulnerable road users, do people patent crazy ideas just to make sure no one else implements it? If you would like, the problem is most of the money isn't the filing. It's not the tier 1 sub. It's not the tier 3 sub. It's not the sub. It's not the money that you pay to get unbanned after you get rejected twice, just like in real life and in relationships. It's the upkeep money. If you have the quote unquote honor of getting your patent approved, you have to pay a lot of money for it to stay valid. If you don't, then it will lapse like it does in some of these cases. I don't have a good example right here because there's so many tabs open. So if you think it's worth your money, and a lot of times, if it's not worth it, you don't want to waste the money. It's a lot of money, and they raise the prices every time. Also, welcome in, Trixie. Let me show you the birthing thing since you are here. So, Trixie, maybe no. I don't want to scare Trixie right away. So, let me show you once again the moose eater. If you've ever been driving, so Volvo thinks the moose chucker is worth a lot of money. Let me take a look. It is active. It was granted in 2015, and they're still paying for it. It doesn't expire until 2033. So yes, Joe, to answer your question, fine, like a question I can answer in confidence. They think it's either worth a lot of money or they want to keep it in their portfolio because a lot of these companies have large patent portfolios that they can sell and trade. It's property. It's intellectual property that they can then, if they get bought out by another car company, then the car company will now own like this thing here that says applicant, assignee, like this stuff will change so that the new people will have this moose chucker. So you chuck the moose, and if you are a vulnerable road user, chime in, tag yourself, you're a vulnerable road user. Instead, this compresses, this contracts, this cradles you. It crumples so that you don't get yeeted. You just get cradled. You're just vulnerable. Every time I look at my stream notes, I see that red flag quiz that I took, and I see the results that I got in there. Y'all are so valid for this. So let's see. This is the chucking one. This person here tried to patent godly powers. He said that he was a godly entity. You can see here via Google that he did not make it. This was just an application publication. It was not granted. And then we have the promotion of peace, love, and understanding through the global proliferation of snow people. This here is a special device that you can hold snow in. You roll it up and it should make a snowman. It compresses it. This same person made this. It's a snow person because it was granted by James Sanders in 2016-ish. It was granted by because it takes a while for them to grant it and for it to get actually like printed and mailed out. They made this thing that lights up. Like basically there's a ball here and you can put like light emitting diodes or something on it and it lights up. The confidence, right? To have godly powers. You just found the dude with godly powers, right? So if you want to look this up, any of you can look this up. You just go to Google patents. You can look this up. So if you type in godly powers, you look on the... Okay, that was a terrible one. All you have to do is put in these numbers right here. You can either put in these 8 numbers here. You could put in the inventor. You could put in the numbers up here. He sued David... Oh, did he? It's funny because he mentioned David Copperfield. He said that he's been using godly powers for his financial gain, and he's been hiding his knowledge of godly powers. Not only is this incorrect legally, like he clearly did not go through these people. He went like straight around and didn't really consult them given these. But he's saying David Copperfield is using his godly powers for his financial gain. So that's kind of messed up. What else do we have here? Oh, this one was the Snow People. Monsters Incorporated Scheme Arena. Here, let me start back from the beginning and work my way over to Nintendo 64. But it is good to see you all. I feel like I'm running out of, I've kind of like recapped for the new people that came in. We got the Baby Chucker. Oh, I might have a few more things. No. I opened up everything. This here is a Resurrection Burial Tomb. Oh, did the document start with help? Yeah, it did. Let me show you. This one is really good. I was showing this off earlier. Come on, where are you? Here. I'm going to zoom in. So this one is his Snow Manifesto. This should not say that, but whatever. He's having fun here. Help! I can't stop writing humorously about this topic. But seriously, folks, how do you write about a snowman or snow woman patent in anything but a lighthearted tone? Was I trying to make fun of patents? Is my goal to sue little children? Am I the devil? No. Reese is everywhere. And yes. Here, I might snooze this upcoming ad. Honestly, I feel like... Here, let me snooze this real quick. Shoop. So yeah, this person was having a little bit of fun. He mentions how Scrabble, the Lego Play-Doh, and yes, the Ultimate Snowman, which I looked up and that was his thing, were patented. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. And just to recap for you all, it depends on the granted patents, which look more like this. They have the multiple numbers, like this one right here. They have 7 or 8 numbers. These aren't as strong because they haven't finished baking yet. The dates are still important. And it depends on these last sections, especially for this one, 35. Try this off topic, but I can fall asleep just listening to you speak because of how soothing your voice is. Thank you. I appreciate that. Also, that's a cute emote. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment, especially because I'm talking about something that's like very important to me. So I was very nervous before this stream. So the drawings are nice, but they are just context, okay? The most important thing for the case, which these people over here kind of talked about, like they open with this. It's the words at the very end, the last few pages first. Oh, Bulba, that's cute. Wait, is that? Okay, because I know Kuya Gills has a lot of Bulbasaur emotes. The drawings are good context. These screenshots that sometimes show up, like in this Mario one over here, are good context. You got the Nintendo 64. You've got the Peach's Castle. This is very interesting. Yeah, thank you, Kawhi. I appreciate you saying that. That means a lot to me because this is important to me. You've got these. These are just context, okay? Oh, we got Mario's face right here. This is just context. What's nice here is because of the way that these people crafted it, again, because of Nixon and Vanderhei, theoretically, sometimes you change firms. Because of these people, what they do is they make this big document that has all of this stuff. Nintendo 64, the chip sets, screenshots of stuff that might not even be related. The Nintendo 64 controller, this stuff. Because what they do is they file it in different ways. They could just copy and paste, because the thing that needs to be different, the thing that's important is this stuff. So the rest of the stuff, like, imagine like this. You have a bunch of different classes, but they're all kind of related to the same thing. So you like copy and paste your paper, not in a bad way, but in a way where you're like, well, I can write one paper about the slidable Joy-Cons. I can write one paper about the shoulder buttons of the Joy-Cons. I can write another paper on throwing the Pokeball. I can write another paper on throwing a Pokemon out and releasing it. Although this particular application does both of them together. You can write another paper on the Pokedex right over here. I love how in these big informal documents we have some images of Mario going, wahoo! Yes, it's always fun seeing these because, we scroll up over here. We got Peach's Castle. I saw Alex the Lion the other day. Here's Mario. What I like is how Troy explains it. Well, actually following up what he's putting on. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like that coupled with my beautiful drawings here. I tried to show the process right now. Once again, the thing that everyone's looking at here, this first one, is not granted. It's in this first step. They kicked it back once. And so they got to do it a few times. But once again, they can take these dark blue people here, they can take their stuff and let the brown people, the inventors, let them file lots of these so that they can try to patent the throwing system. So they can try to patent the specific way that you have tabs on the right, that you have like columns and rows right here with the check marks. Like this could be technically their own application that they sent in. They could send up another one for the boss. And so they can copy this over and over. And then that's why this one is just the drawing. So what you want to do is you can actually look at this and you can see the other ones that they've filed. You see these are all related. They're all based on this first one. They copy and paste a lot of the stuff and they say, well, now we want to do this picture. We're focusing on this picture instead. That's this one. We're focusing on this other picture. That's this one. So then it goes back and forth. And once again, for the newcomers, there are 5 major patent offices: United States, Europe, Japan, China, and Korea. They all work together. And you can see that in this particular one, they submitted it in Japan first. Then they sent it in the United States. There are special programs where you file it in your country first and then it gets filed in the other countries. That specific conversation is above my pay grade and is more of a Patents 202 topic. I know that Kevin in that YouTube video did kind of reference that. And let me link this video for you all again. If you want to see Lita and Kevin's take, Kevin is one of these people here and Lita is a VTuber. So she would be like right here. So this would be Lita. And she talked with Kevin, who is one of these people, and they put out that video, that's a video from Lita's channel. So yeah, if you all want to learn more, you can watch that one. Do you have any more questions for me before we potentially take it out of here? Because let me check on how Harland is doing. I might snooze one more time, honestly. Yeah, let's snooze one more time so I can be comfortable with sending you all out of here. So we got the Nintendo Switch. We got the environment system, which, I looked at these claims. I don't think this is the focus. It's from it, but once again, like I said before, they can just take this and they can take any of these pictures and file it. They want to focus on this portion. You don't have any questions thus far? Okay, good to hear. And if you all have any specific questions you want to ask me, you can also message me afterwards. We have the Nemesis system from Warner Brothers. We have the Namco one with the loading screen patents. The loading screen mini games. This one expired in 2015, and you can check on the site. Again, this is Google Patents. Any of you can do your own research. You can look up your own patents. Will this be on the test? Don't worry, this will not be on the test. Ask me any questions if you like. This is, as far as things I'm passionate about, this does, I have more experience with this than I do with, say, TTRPGs, right? We have the joke patents, like this one, the granted nightlight, or the lighter, not nightlight. We have the centrifugal force baby right over here. We have this resurrection burial tomb, which was abandoned and was rejected. We have this floating bed. We have this cereal bowl. You can put cereal in here, milk up here. The spoon is right there. This one was granted in 1986. So older than most of you, I imagine. This gun that you can use to trap insects. This hip exercising device, you just get a homie, you bounce balls together. Anyone else have a homie to bounce balls together with? Let me know. And what else do we have over here? We have a relationship board game for use by couples. I haven't shown this one yet. So this is some board game called Take Me to the Cleaners. One of the board games for couples. You got the dice, Oops, you've been accused of leaving dirty dishes in the sink, and for this you must pay the price. The consequence for this offense will be to do the dishes completely all week. Let's see, what does this say over here? Preferably common law spouses. This game could be played by anyone or two or more pairs, with each wife playing against their respective husbands sometimes. What else do we have here? Decorative and ornamental device. This is for hair in a certain area. I'll leave that up to your imagination. This time machine robot thing was not granted. This one, according to this, was abandoned. It got rejected and let go. We have the moose chucker with the vulnerable road person. We have godly powers, which was not approved. This person thought he had godly powers. And according to Joe, sued David Copperfield. We got the snowman maker. We have the snowman that lights up. So we put this on your lawn. And that is pretty much it. What's a good place? I'll leave it in front of the Mario. Okay, so that is it from me. It is time for us to get out of here. Let me say bye to the people watching in the future. Thank you for sticking around with me this long. I know the last half was pretty much recap, but I hope you all have a good night, good afternoon, and good morning, wherever you are, whether listening, well, I guess live or from the future, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.